Hey guys, my name is Tommy Cadwalader. I'm a grassroots American racing driver from Scranton, Pennsylvania, currently racing in the North American F1000 Championship. Not having the funding for karting, I started racing in 2016 with simulators, working as often as possible after school and on the weekends and any job I can find to fund the beginnings of my racing career. From the early stages, I've had to fight for a career in motorsport, but I have high aspirations of winning races and championships in as many different disciplines of motorsport as I can. Through this vlog series, I'll bring you guys along for the ride from this year in the F1000 Championship to the future as I rise through the ranks of motorsport. Alright guys, I'm here at Pitt Race for round 4 of the F1000 Championship. About to hop in the car for qualifying in about an hour. Yeah, car feels pretty good in practice yesterday. We had to make some changes. It's super loose right now, so I wasn't able to put in an optimal lap. So I'm hoping that the changes that we decided to make for qualifying make that a little bit better. Yeah, I'm super excited to hop in the car, so I'll talk to you guys after qualifying. Alright, so I just got done putting in a banker lap on track. Car's making a noise it's not supposed to make, not really pulling. You see what a F1000 car is supposed to be doing at this point in the track. I'm not going that fast, because I can't go that fast. Throttle's not really doing anything right now, so I'm going to be pulling into the pits here and get checked out by the team so you can hear the audio on that.
Sounds like a plug wire came off.
Should I turn it off?
Yeah. Liam! You need this? Oh.
It sounds like a plug came off, so check this, look at that. Hang on a second.
Liam?
Come off the brake so you can feel better.
Start it up.
Alright guys, qualifying 1 done. Unfortunately ended up about 4 laps. Spark plug issue after the 4th banker lap, and right at the end of us warming up our tires before I can really push for it. So I came in the pits, not really an issue they can fix in the pit lane. They're really hoping it's a spark plug issue. I'm not 100% sure on that. If it's not the spark plug issue, then I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it out for the race, because it's going to be an engine change and we're not 100% sure if they're going to be able to do that in time. Unfortunate, but it's the way that it is. Yeah, so my banker lap that I was able to put in was good enough for P3, so if I'm able to make it out, I start 3rd. Yeah, looking forward to it. Races in like 6 hours if I'm able to make it out. Gonna be a good time. Also have a new race suit. Got it for free, pretty cool. Alright, I'll check in with you guys after the race.
Alright. Great home. Good meeting a lot. Radio check, radio check. Got you loud and clear. Liam, I got you some 1,000 wheels.
Alright, so the team did a absolute miracle to be able to do a complete engine swap in between qualifying and the race. I literally cannot thank them enough for being able to get me back out on track. And literally the only thing on my mind at this point is I wanted to make it worth their time. So, getting ready for the start of the race here, coming around the final corner. Starting in 3rd. Getting ready to go green, coming around. And green, and I get a pretty damn good start here, but straight line speed disadvantage, they just pull straight away from me. Then here I get really held up by the slower Stephen Hamilton up ahead there. Nathan goes right around the outside of both of us. Great move by him. So now I'm down in 4th. Only lost 1 position, not a huge deal. Steve uses his straight line speed to get alongside Nathan. I do one of my most opportunistic overtakes I have ever done. There was a point in my mind where I'm like, do I go for this? And I just decided to go for it, and it worked out for me. So now my focus is to just chase down Nathan here, try to get past him as soon as possible, and then hunt down the leader. I really just wanted to make this as worthwhile as possible for the team, for all the hard work. Alright, a few laps later now, closed right up on Nathan and the leader, Riley Harris. Coming around the last few corners here onto the nice long straight. Nathan gets a worse run from me down it, so I get into his draft. I know I'm probably not close enough to make a move into the last corner because he does have a little bit of a draft from Riley up ahead. So I try to go over to the right hand side, fill up his mirrors, make him think I'm going to dive bomb him, try to get him to run wide. He runs wide. I'm pretty sure he missed a gear, and I just go right up the inside. So now it's just eyes up ahead to try to get past Riley Harris and try to win this race. So I'm going to let a few of the laps while I'm hunting him down play out without narration so that you can hear the sound of the car and everything like that. you can see just how bad the straight line deficit is here. He's pulling away from me while I'm in the draft, so I know that I could not overtake him after a long straight. I have to do it where I have the pace advantage. So going through the S's here, I'm right up against his rear wing here. So I know this is probably going to be my best shot. I know into the next session here, he's a little bit slower than I am. So I know that I can really shove it up the inside into this braking zone. So I cut across the curbing more than I would, place me on the right hand side, nice and late on the brakes. He gets around the outside a little bit, and I'm not giving it up though. Gonna go around the outside of the left, inside on the right, gonna shove him a little bit wide on the left. But now I know I'm not in the clear though, because Nathan is right there. So I'm looking at my mirrors, I see Nathan coming up on me in the draft. He got a better run out of that than I did, so I'm gonna stick all the way to the right hand side of the track, then cut over to the left and leave him just enough room on the left hand side. Get over to the apex and then push him out to the left so I do not leave him as little room as I possibly can. And now I'm in the lead, so I'm just going to try to run consistent lap times, try to pull away if I can, but that's not the main goal. All I want to do is just do the lap times that are nice and safe. Alright, third to last lap, coming up to start the second to last lap here. Nathan is right behind me. I cannot afford to make any mistakes, but unfortunately I end up making a mistake here in this corner, light up the rear tires a little bit right now. And that gives Nathan a nice little run on me down the straight because I did not get a great exit. Nathan has a nice draft on me here, so I'm going to go right over to the left-hand side of the track. I don't want to let him have any room on the left-hand side. And he's going to come around the right. I see him, so I go over to the right to try to open up the corner as much as I can for me. But I get a nice snap of oversteer here, so I have to get on the brakes a little bit, check up, and let him drive right by me. Now I have the draft. I'm going to try to go around the outside of him into this corner. It's the second to last lap. I say screw it. I'm going to go for it. Nice and late on the brakes. Nathan gets a snap of oversteer at the apex. I'm up in the air and right into the wall. Not how I wanted that to go.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Is your power off?
No.
Power? Power's off. I got your key right here. Yep. All right. Are you not hurt anywhere?
No, I'm all good, I think.
Everything's clear? All right. Let's get your belts out away from you. Come on. Come get yourself up. You all right? Yep. All right. We're going to take you, put you in the truck.
Alright guys, first race done. Tough. Yeah, coming to 2 laps to go. Ended up getting into a crash with my teammate and I ended up in the wall. But there's some positives from it. I mean, I had awesome pace the whole time despite it being really my second time driving the track in a session. So really, after practice too, I didn't really get to drive the track. So the fact that I set the fastest lap is something that I'm happy about. And I fought for the race win. Now the positive is the team. I can't thank them enough. They were able to do an entire engine change after qualifying to get me out into the race, and they did it in 6 hours, a whole engine change in 6 hours. So I literally cannot thank them enough for that. Unfortunately, it didn't quite come together in the race. I had pace. I fought for it. I led vast majority of the laps of the race. It just, it is what it is. I have a lot more positives to take from it than negatives. I mean, yeah, my pace was great. And yeah, it just racing incident with my teammate, nothing malicious, nothing crazy, no one's fault really. It's just the way that it is sometimes. So, I'm not mad at him. He's not mad at me. And we made up after it. So, it is the way that it is. And I can't change it. I'm just looking forward to tomorrow because I'm hopefully going to be able to qualify the car and going to be able to do the race. And I think that I have a good amount of pace. All right, talk to you guys then. All right, here we go. Start of race 2, starting in 3rd place. Getting ready to go green. And green, and you can see the straight line speed that everyone else has just gone. Just completely blows by Nathan there too. I go over to the right-hand side to open up the corner so you can get a good run out of it. Just immediately, I'm starting to feel the car's a little bit understeered. Obviously, I'm just kind of sort of just writing it off as, all right, it's the first turn, first lap. Not necessarily what the car is going to feel like for the whole race. And then I totally do not make this apex here, and then I don't even make it on the right, I'm pretty sure. I think that the car is just plowing. I could not get the car to turn at all, and I'm seeing everyone else is starting to run away from me here. And you'll see it in the next section coming up here, just how bad it is. You can see here, I'm just struggling to get it to turn. Like, I was all over that curb on the right on my fastest laps, and I'm just not there. You can see here, I have to do this full lift, and before I was just breathing off, if not flat. And I get to see everyone else pulling away, and it's just so frustrating just to be fighting for my life to get the thing to turn. You see, I just totally did not make this apex. I mean, I didn't really turn the steering wheel. I felt like I broke pretty late, but you see I just shook my head there. So then getting ready to start this lap, I'm still under the impression that it might be tires, so I'm getting ready to just push now and try to close this gap. So push a little bit in this corner, and I just go straight towards the exit, loop myself right around. Do a nice 360 though. Get a little bit into the pit lane exit there, but just like Barber, drop some gears, disappear, and get going again. So we're coming up here a couple laps later, and I can see Steve Hamilton up ahead there. I think he's starting to have some sort of an issue with his rear wing, but he's not going as fast as he was in the beginning of the race. This is about halfway through the race, so it could have been tires, but I'm pretty sure it was an issue with his rear wing. So I'm closing up on him. Pretty much same deal. I know I can't really overtake through here, so I'm going to set him up exactly the same way that I set up Riley in the first race. Cut across the curbing there and just get him on the brakes. And this one was a lot cleaner than it was on Riley. And then we're coming around. This is pretty much like the third or fourth last lap of the race. Coming around, and there's Riley spun on the right hand side there, so I just inherited second place just for trying to keep the car clean. And we're coming around the final corner here and the last lap of the race. Currently running P2, still struggling with understeer. I was actually closing on Nathan a little bit. He was having an engine problem, but just wasn't enough. You can see him up ahead here. And yeah, that's P2. Alright guys, race 2 is done. As you can see on the video. I made a setup gamble that didn't quite work out. I decided I was going to try to have the car be a bit more understeery in the beginning of the race, so that towards the end of the race it doesn't have what happened in race 1 where I ended up getting super loose towards the end of the race. And I wanted to try to avoid that. Unfortunately, that was the wrong call. The first few laps, the car was awful. As you can see from the video, it was just way too understeery. And I really just could not turn it. And on, I think it was lap 2, I spun on the exit of turn 1, did a nice perfect 360, and then got to work trying to close the gap to the leader. I did end up closing the gap, 15-second gap down to 4 seconds. It just wasn't quite enough to win the race. I was gaining on him, but not enough laps. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not totally focused on results this year. This year is really me just trying to get better as a driver and bridge the gap between sim racing and reality. I had a total brain fart there. But yeah, try to bridge the gap between sim racing and reality, and that's what I'm doing so far. So even though I haven't gotten a win 4 race weekends in yet, I'm challenging for them. I can win them, and I think that is outperforming what's realistic for me considering the amount of experience I have versus the amount of experience of everyone else. So I'm still super hungry for that race wins though, and I'm not going to be happy until I get it. So yeah, next race is Autobahn in Wisconsin, a track I've never been to before, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll check in with you guys then.